Testing, testing. Make sure we make sure testing, testing. Make sure testing, 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 testing. Salaki in 1 minute, Israel. Make sure we're good here with the Salaki Israel. Let me make sure this sound is working up to par. Shalom, brother. Shalom. Do me a favor, if y'all if the audio is okay, just hit a one for me. Please hit a one for me. Let me know that you can hear me clear. I don't want to go through the class and the whole audio is messed up. So the water, brothers, if you can do that for me. The water, brothers, the water. All right. Shalom, Israel, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Brakatah. My sisters, Yahweh, Shamar, Ilta, Hashem, Yahweh, Shai. Police Officer Kwamaguan, this is the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We've been bringing out this truth since 1969. We are in no way affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite groups. And we teach that blacks, Latinos, and First Nation people are the chosen of the Most High God, Yahweh. And of course, Yahweh Shai, or Jesus Christ, as they ignorantly call him, is our king and will always be our king. So today, we're going to talk about some current events, like as far as worldly, some Pittsburgh news. Definitely going to touch on this Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, Chris Rock thing. I mean, I know brothers have been touching on that for a couple of days now. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do it here at Pittsburgh because class doesn't start until Thursday. So I'm going to touch on that briefly, and then we'll move into some scriptures and, of course, talk about everything under the sun, from, Brotherhood, whores, and everything that's relevant today. So the first thing I want to bring up is Colin Kaepernick is in the news again. The Michigan news. So let me pull this up here. Salakia, 1 minute. Khan. Yes, I am talking about it. Young man Elijah. I'm definitely talking about some Will Smith and Colin Kaepernick today. But let me pull up this. So like that Will Smith and Chris Rock. So let me pull up this. Okay, so we know that, of course, in America, blacks, Latinos, and First Nation people, we are not, loved here. We are not chosen. We are the underdog here. We are, the cast offs. We're in the worst conditions. We're in poverty. We're the ones who have a lack of knowledge of our God, and it has got us destroyed here because we have taken on the ways and the practices of heathen nations. All right, so I'm gonna get into this little. I'm gonna read this little football article about Colin Kaepernick. It says football fans react to Kaepernick announcement. So this is on the it's called The Comeback. The site is called The Comeback. It's covering NCAA football. So it says 8 years after they last worked out together as head coach and starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, Jim Harbaugh and Colin Kaepernick are having a reunion of sorts. Harbaugh's Michigan Wolverines will have their maize and blue spring game on Saturday, April 2nd. Michigan announced on Wednesday that Kaepernick will be an honorary captain. So they're basically bringing him on, I guess, in Michigan football, whatever. They have a post here with under Michigan football. It says, football family excited to share the field with our honorary captain for Saturday's Maize and Blue Spring game. It says it's got Harbaugh and Kaepernick with a 7 jersey and a Michigan jersey. It says, if we learned anything over the last 6 years, is that there are very few neutral opinions on Kaepernick. This news was no different. Some college football fans on Twitter are dead set against the Wolverines honoring the former 49ers signal caller. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna read a little bit of Twitter post from basically, heathens who feel some type of way about Kaepernick, joining Michigan for that day. So this is from a guy called David Hooksteed. This is on Twitter. It says, Colin Kaepernick compared police officers to slave catchers, praised the murderous communist dictator, wore socks depicting police officers as pigs, and refused to stand for the anthem. In the eyes of Michigan football, he's a hero. Disgusting. So this is what one heathen had to say. Of course, Kaepernick, basically was, he took a knee for, the treatment of, our nation, Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation people. And, of course, the oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks about, hates him for it. Because you can't, in order to, first of all, will never be accepted by them. But you have to take this slavery, this punishment, this oppression. You have to take it on the chin, but you can't say anything about it according to the oppressor, the devil that the Bible speaks about. So you have to just take the beating and never say anything. So that's what they expect. And what I'm trying to I'm trying to explain here is that this is the spirit of America. This is why we have to take our spirit, out of America. We can't be a part of America. And of course, how do we do that? Of course, we're physically here. We have 2 feet on the ground. We're here. We walk around. There's heathens among us. But you take yourself out of here spiritually. How do you do that? By doing what the Most High God says, being obedient to the Most High God's law, statutes, and commands. Okay. So, for example, in the scriptures in Leviticus, the 11th chapter, it talks about we have a dietary law, right? So we know that about 7 verses down, it says that we cannot eat swine, right? So that's a small example. So we can't eat pork, right? So, but America, they teach you that pork is the new white meat, right? So it's just one of the many ways that the oppressor goes against what the Bible says or what the Most High God tells us to do. Okay, so we have to take ourselves out there spiritually. How else do we do that? Don't celebrate any of these holidays, these man-made holidays, these feast days that are made by the oppressor or the heathen nations. Okay, so of course, in what is it? I think it's Leviticus chapter 23 or Exodus 23. It talks about the real high holy days. I believe it's Leviticus 23:1. It talks about the high holy days, the actual days that we are to observe. And of course, we have the Passover coming up April 15th, which is in a few weeks. I can't wait. I can't wait for the Passover. So these, Halloween, Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, birthdays, all these different things are heathen customs. Okay. So we take ourselves out of America by not observing things like that. We also take ourselves out of America by actually being a brother to other Blacks, Latinos, and First Nation people, not treating each other like the oppressor treats us. Okay. That's how we take ourselves out of here spiritually. All right, let's get some more of this. What's doing this color Kaepernick? Okay. So this is another guy by the name of Eric Bandezewski. Got a nice oppressor name. He just has the word corny with the picture of Colin Kaepernick and Jim Harbaugh. So, and here's one more. Ben Marissi. What a massive L. The fact that this man has any respect left in the football community is beyond me. I mean, the oppressor is really the devil that the Bible speaks about. I mean, he says, he's mad at Colin Kaepernick for, not endorsing the oppression of his own people. And he says, I don't know how anyone in the football community can have any respect for him. I mean, it should be just the opposite. I mean, he at least, tried to stand up for something. Whereas a lot of, brothers and sisters, they're slaves, they get that money and they wouldn't dare, raise their voice or say anything, what I mean? Because they will put a target on their back, and Colin Kaepernick put a target on himself. Now, don't get me wrong. Colin Kaepernick is not in the truth. He's not in the ISUPK commanding General Yohana. So he's not really in the truth or anything. But, to me, he's a little better than those slaves out there that won't raise their voice, for the oppression of their own people. So my point in bringing this up was that we need to take ourselves out of America spiritually. Okay, that's just what we need to do, and we need to keep God's law, statutes, and commands, because nobody has our best interest in hand. Nobody does. So we have to do that. We have to depend on each other. We have to look after each other. We have to love each other. We have to stop harming each other, because obviously the heathen is not going to do it. I mean, we know here in Pittsburgh, just what, a year, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years, young man, Antoine Rose Jr. was shot in the back by a devil, and the devil got off. He lost his job, supposedly. I don't know. He could be working somewhere else right now in another state, but, the man got off. He shot a 15-year-old kid running away from him. So, we have to take our spirit out of America, because it's the only help that we have, and that's keeping God's law, statutes, and commands. All right. So let me get, and this is some quick local news. Just recently, two young men in the Brookline area were found. Were charged with shooting another brother in the Bon Air section, which is like the north side section of Pittsburgh. And and the only reason why I bring that up is because that's these they're young kids. So they probably doing everything wrong. They're not keeping any law, statutes, and commands. They probably have no idea, anything about the law, statutes, and commands. And that probably comes from years and years of foolishness from, parenting and, bad parenting and whatnot. But that's a perfect example of what it's like to not be a brother. And that's why we're going to get into this thing about, Will Smith and Chris Rock, because that is the perfect example of, not being a brother, being weak to a woman, and, by loving a whore and, trying to please a whore, this is what happens. It destroys our nation. That's why it says in the scriptures that, there's to be no whore of the daughters of Israel, because it just brings wickedness on the land. Okay. So, and that was a very wicked act, what Will Smith did to Chris Rock. Okay. So let me jump into a little bit. All right. First, let me get, I was online and I was looking at, trying to look up some stuff about Chris Rock. And there's this picture of Chris Rock, man. He's, he just performed. He's on like a little tour, and he's, having some shows or whatever. And there's a picture of this brother, man. It's online, and he just looks defeated, man. He just looks, you could tell in his mind he's taking it in. He's just like, and that was his actual words. He spoke for the first time recently about the incident before he performed, and he said that he's still processing and taking it in. And that's something as a man, I don't know how you could process this without one solution. I mean, as a man, you're going to want revenge. You're going, You're going to feel, like your manhood's been taken from you. I mean, this happened for the world to see. I mean, one of the biggest events that there could possibly be. So, this brother, man, he's acting like he's okay. And but you can tell the brother is not okay, man. He's not okay. I mean, and I I feel for the brother, But also I want to bring out also about cowardice too, because that was a very coward act to let that man do that to him. You understand? You don't let no man snatch your manhood like that. A man is sold at you. You have every right to defend yourself. You have every right to do that. So, and on the only thing I can charge him for, or say that, not charge him for, but the only thing I can say that, he did wrong was he acted cowardice, which is in the ash, you became the commanding general honor. That's we are no cowards here. So Chris Rock, the best thing he could do is actually get in the ash, you became the commanding general honor, and we'll show him how to get his manhood back. But okay, so we're going to bring out some scriptures. All right, we're going to definitely talk about this whore, even though she's a sister, this whore Jada Pinkett, because she is just she's the epitome of what a sister is not supposed to be like. Just a selfish, broad, and he doesn't care anything about her husband. Constantly embarrasses her husband, and he's an emotional wreck because he's weak, and it's just a bad situation. All right, so let's get this. Let me get okay. So let me get Proverbs 23 and 27. We're gonna start there. All right, Proverbs 23 and 27. All right, for a whore is a deep ditch, and a strange woman is a narrow pit. I'll read that again. Proverbs 23 and 27. For a whore is a deep ditch, and a strange woman is a narrow pit. So if you don't know exactly what a whore is, I'm pretty sure you've heard this word before. Shalom, big man. Shalom, brother. I'm going to read the definition of what a whore is. I'm going to get into some more scriptures about that. All right. So just to catch a spit, if anybody logged in just now, we're reading Proverbs 23 and 27. touching on this Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett. We got to. It's only right, big man. We got to talk about this. And then we're going to move into some other scriptures, talk about some brotherhood too. So, all right. For a whore is a deep ditch, and a strange woman is a narrow pit. Now, of course, a strange woman is someone who steps out on a husband. You know what I mean? Or it could be a woman from another nation of people, you know what I mean, outside of our nation. All right. So a whore is a deep ditch. So I got the Zondervan Van Bible Dictionary right here. And I'm going to read to you what the definition of a whore is, just in case you didn't, understand. Right. Very cowardly, brother. Very cowardly. He definitely is an emotional wreck. Definitely. And that comes from, bowing down to a woman, like the scriptures say, man is to rule over his woman. You know what I mean? Man is to rule over his woman. And you cannot let a woman dominate you. And you cannot, be all in emotion because trying to keep her happy. If first of all, the woman's a damn whore. She slept with, her son's, best friend. I mean, what grown woman does that? Yeah, I mean, it just tells you what type of woman is that. And then the woman, Jada Pinkett went on interviews and even said, I think it was on, I can't remember if it was Oprah, or I can't remember what it was, but she said, she came out and said that he makes love like a woman. Con, what's up, brother? What's up? Okay, bro. What's up, brother? Thanks for tuning in. I couldn't really see the pic, my bad, brother. So, but yeah, so the brother, you know what I mean? Jada Pinkett went on, social, media and was just like, it said that the man makes love like a woman. You know what I mean? Like, if that's not a target at your manhood and disrespect, you know what I mean? I don't know what is. I mean, so she did this. They've been known to, be out there and be wild, have wild sexual behaviors. We all know this. We've been known this since we were, young. And like I said, but then, she comes out, she has sex with this young boy and, which is her son's best friend. I mean, she has no class, no morals, no nothing. So I'm gonna read the definition of what a whore exactly is. Let's say this is a whore. So it's on the Van Bible Dictionary. If you don't know, this is a very good tool, man. This is a very good tool. This has a lot of, information in it. I mean, it runs right with the Bible. I mean, you can get so much out of it. It has pictures. It has a lot of different things that, it can educate you on if you don't know the, the exact terms of things. All right. So, like, again, I like to get the exact definition so people can, not just assuming that everybody knows. I want to get, I want to get everybody on board. All right. So a whore, okay, a woman who habitually commits adultery or fornication. I'll read that again. A woman who habitually commits adultery or fornication. Now, that's Jada Pinkett to the T. I mean, she's been a whore for I don't know how long. I mean, and I know there might be some sisters listening and whatnot. Oh, I can't believe he's talking about a woman like that. And truth is truth. You understand? Truth is truth. We're not making anything up. This is what the Bible says. The Bible says, Proverbs 23 and 27, for a whore is a deep ditch. What is a deep ditch? I mean, just think about that. It's like a situation or problems that, it's something hard to get out. It's just things that's piling on you after pile. You know what I mean? Problem after problem after problem. So because this brother didn't put this woman away, which is rightfully so, he could put this woman away because she did have sex with another man. And honestly, technically speaking, according to the Bible, what's his name? I don't even August, whatever his name is. You know what I mean? That technically is her husband now. You know what I mean? Because she left, and had sex with this young boy. So once a woman has sex with another man, that's not your woman no more. That's his woman. Okay. And then, you go back and get with her again, have sex with her again. Now you didn't commit adultery. And this is one of the problems that we have in the Black community. See, we didn't know, if you weren't in the truth, you never heard these things before. Years, you got multiple baby mothers, not if a man have multiple women, that's not the sin. I mean, he just can't leave the women. But women who have kids by more than one man, she's obviously committed adultery over and over again. And this is some of the things that we're being punished for because, we're sinning against the Lord and we don't know it. All right. So a woman who habitually commits adultery or fornication, especially for hire, a prostitute, a harlot. So, of course, we know what a harlot or a prostitute is. And that's pretty much what she is. I mean, you know what I mean? That describes her to the T. And also adultery can be like, as far as Israel as a nation, taking on the practices of other nations. You know what I'm saying? We're adulterous, or, we played the harlot with other nations by, taking on practices of other nations when we're supposed to be, sanctified in the Lord only. You understand? The Most High God, Yahweh. So, but in this case, we're talking about a woman who's a whore. Okay, so it's a woman who habitually commits adultery or fornication. Now, of course, a man can be with as many women as he chooses to be with. The only thing he can't do is be with a woman that already has a man. and he is not allowed to put those women away. You understand? You got to keep them all, according to what this is what the Bible says. You know what I mean? You have to keep them all. Of course, that's just what it is. So I'll read that again. Proverbs 23:27. For a whore is a deep ditch, and a strange woman is a narrow pit. So dealing with a woman who's a whore, you know, I mean, she's strange. You know, it's like you know, being in a narrow pit. You know what I mean? There's going to be all types of, you know, negativity coming your way. Like, for example, what happened at the awards. You know, you come here, you know what I mean? You sit in the front row, like, you know what I mean? You're in the very first row, you know what I mean? You know, you got your woman there, she got a damn bald head, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So she's, you know, in the Black community, we're going to target that anyway. You know what I mean? You see a woman up there in the front with a bald head. Not that a woman having, you know, short hair is a bad thing, but Jada Pinkett gets the attention she gets because of her actions and what she did, you know what I mean? What she does. So you bring this whore with you. She sits up in the front row, you know what I mean? You know, looking like a, you know, like you said, G.I. Jane. I mean, that's what she looked like. So, and then you got Chris Rock, who's one of the most, you know what I mean, humorous, you know, funny guys who's going to target the crowd. That's what he's going to do. That's what comedians do. That's what they get paid to do. So, right, right. You know what I'm saying? So he targeted her, and, you know, it is what it is. I mean, you can't expect to go sit up there in the front and in front of one of the funniest guys, you know what I mean, whoever did it, and looking the way you do, doing the things that you've done to your husband. You put him on, you know what I mean, the red table, you know, roasted him there, you know what I mean, said that he makes love like a woman, you know what I mean, you cause all these problems in your family, you have sex with your son's best friend, and then you sit up in the front row like as nobody's going to notice who you are. So now the crazy thing here is this is what really is a problem right here. So when Chris Rock makes the joke, he laughs, the crowd's laughing. I mean, Will Smith is literally laughing. And then he looks over at his woman and she's like, nigga, you better do something about this. Basically gave him a mask. And he immediately changed his face. Now that right there is called being a goddamn Salakia, being a punk. Okay, because you basically let your woman dictate your emotions right there. You were laughing just like everybody else, but then you looked over at your woman who's a damn whore, and you know, and everybody knows it, and then you feel some type of way because now you feel like I gotta, you know, make myself feel like a man because of all the emasculation that she has done to me for the last I don't know how many years. She slept with my son's best friend. She said I make, you know what I mean, you know, I make love to her like a woman. You know, he just looks weak, and he stayed with her through all that. So what does he do? He goes up to somebody. Chris Rock is about, you know, 100, maybe 60 pounds, 150 pounds. You know what I mean? Definitely not a fighter. You can look at him and tell he's not a fighter. You know what I mean? He's not known for throwing any punches or anything like that. Will Smith, of course, is a bigger guy. You know what I mean? And he sized him up. He knew that he can get away with it with this guy. You know what I mean? He just knew that. You know what I mean? Now, there's other people that said things about Jada and his situation. He has nothing to say about it. But the fact that you can get that angry with your brother that fast which is why we're going to Brotherhood next. The fact that you can get angry with your brother that fast, you know what I mean? That's his job. He's doing that. You know what I mean? This is something that comedians do. But you got that angry that fast with your brother. But I can guarantee he would not do the same thing with the oppressor. He won't get mad at the oppressor like that. He wanted to. If that would have been Ben Stiller up there and said something about Jada Pinkett, did you really think Will Smith would have got on stage and punched Ben Stiller? There's no way in hell he would have did that. You know why? Because he has respect for his oppressor. He has respect for his oppressor, but he doesn't have any respect for his brother or his sister. You know what I mean? And then he's in love with a damn whore. You know what I mean? He's in love with a whore. Let me pull this next scripture. Let's get Ecclesiasticus 25 and 22. Ecclesiasticus 25 and 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. I'll read that again. Ecclesiasticus 25, 22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. So let's target on this word maintain. And I know, so like I said, the men above meters, they've been going over these things for the last couple of days. But like I said, I just got to put this out here in Pittsburgh. So a woman, if she maintain her husband, not maintain is the main word there. Now, your first thought when you see that word, of course, if you're not in the truth, you'll think that, oh, it's a woman who's taking care of her man, you know what I mean, probably paying on the bills and this and that. But that's not what that means. Maintain means like keep you in check, like rule you, run you, control you. You understand? Because really, women will do everything they can to try to control you and try to get you to pay attention to their need, their happiness, and put all that first. But really inside, she's looking at you like he's a damn bitch. Salakia. That's what they really think. So if she maintains her husband, it makes her angry and impudence and much reproach. So she's looking at her husband like he's a weak ass man. And that's exactly what he is. He's a weak ass man. And she knows it. And she hates him for it. So she goes out there, she embarrasses him every kind of way. She has sex with whoever she want to have sex with. She can, look at him a certain way, make him make a certain decision. I mean, she just throws all these things up in her face, and there's nothing the brother can do. He's weak, and he's afraid to leave the woman. He's afraid to leave her. And something heavy that the general brought out the other day that, he grew up in a situation with his mother where I guess his mother was a single parent mother, his father left or whatever. So he might be looking at it as like, I don't ever want to leave my family. I want to always make sure that, my family stays together no matter what. But that's bullshit, Salaki. I mean, that's bullshit. If you have a woman that's sleeping with another man, it is a law that you are supposed to put her away. You have to put her away because now she's defiled. I mean, like the general said the other day, I mean, just imagine, this woman has had another rod up in her box. Right, Khan, right, brother, Khan. Attacking each other is a sickness. Meanwhile, won't have the same aggression for heathen nations. Niggas won't. Right, Khan, they won't. I mean, we see this every day, brother. There are slavery. I mean, everywhere, in every aspect of life. You know what I mean? But they be so quick to attack their brother, man. So quick to pull the gun on their brother. So quick to rob their brother. I mean, it's just, it's sickening, man. And it's just like I said, it's us acting like the heathen nations. So again, so just think, this woman went with another man, August Alsina, whatever. So this man put his rod in her box. You know what I mean? Semen comes from your rod, right? So this woman now then she gets back with Will Smith. He puts his rod in her box, and he's putting his rod in a box that already had another rod in it recently and semen in it. I mean, and who else knows what it is? He probably put his face down and everything too. So I mean, just think about that, how nasty that is. Just think about that. I mean, Salaki, that's just a nasty. You think about that, man. Now, when you're in the world, you probably don't think about that so much, but in the truth, and I should be carrying the commanding general honor, we learn these things. We understand, you know what I mean, why these laws are the way they are. But it's just a nasty thing. So he's supposed to put that woman away is what he's supposed to do. But because he didn't, now he just continuously face all types of, negativity. He's an emotional wreck. He's weak. He's a coward. You know what I mean? And like I said, I just don't believe that he would have had that same, aggression towards, another brother. Or, I mean, he probably would have had that aggression, but it depended on the size of the brother. You understand what I'm saying? Or he definitely would have did it towards an Edomite. You know what I mean? He definitely would have did that. You know what I mean? Career over. You know what I mean? You do that. You attack one of master's own, career over. So again, Ecclesiasticus 25:22. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. Okay, so now I'm gonna slide over to the book of Isaiah. I'm gonna touch a little bit on Jada Pinkett and her ball situation, and the general went over this the other day. So Salaki, and I said this is one of my favorite scriptures. I was reading this a long time ago, even before I came into the truth. I had understood this scripture. I had understood. Right, Khan. Right, Jada is possessed by the Jezebel spirit. He should have been put her away. Right, Khan. And even expound further on that, Brother Brett. She got that spirit of a Christian woman. That's what it really is. That's what all of our sisters. That's what it is. It's that spirit of a Christian woman. It's the, you know what I mean? Give her a pass because she's a woman. No matter what she do, forgive her. She's a woman. Women, go through this. Women go through that. Nobody, wants to, correct women and hold them accountable for what they do, except the Asher carrying the commanding general Yohana. That's the only place that does that. You can't say nothing to a woman. If you say anything to a woman in the world, oh, you're trying to control me. See, babe, girl, he trying to control me. Like, you know what I mean? That's all they ever say. You trying to control them. But the funny thing is, Brother Brett, and if anybody else is listening, brothers in here, like if the oppressor checks her, it's yes, sir. Okay, I believe it now. But when her own man does it, it's, you know what I mean? It's like she can't accept that from you. She can't accept it from you. You just a nigger from the hood. You understand that? So she can't accept that from us. She can't accept that from you. But like I said, the oppressor checker, then it's all good. You know what I mean? It must be true if the oppressor says it. You know what I mean? That's how they go. Let me jump into this. Okay, so Isaiah 3:17. We're gonna start there. Isaiah 3:17, because Jada Pinkett came out and talked about she has what is the name of that the so-called disease when you're here when you go bald. I have to I gotta pull it up in here somewhere. The A I forgot. Therefore, this is Isaiah 3:17. Therefore, the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts. The crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, of course, is your head. You know what I mean? And that's why it says daughters of Zion. Okay, which is black women. Okay, and let's get down to 3:24. Now listen to this because this is a heavy scripture, and and you repeat this to some sisters, especially sisters learning the truth. They just got this puzzled look on their face, and they can't believe that this is actually here. But this is letting you know that this is talking about black women. Okay, this is letting you know. Isaiah 3:24. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness. So Jada Pinkett ain't got no damn disease. Jada Pinkett has the curse that's in the Bible. That's what she has. You understand? And you know how that comes from that? From being a wicked damn bitch. Salakia. That's where it comes from. That right. Right. I can't it's on the tip of my tongue, but right. Alopecia. Right. There you go. The water, brother. So I'll read that again. Therefore, the Lord will smite with the scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover the secret parts. 3:24. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. So instead of women, because women, they're supposed to smell good. They look good. They're clean. You know what I mean? They're like a delicate flower, right? That's how they should be. But when you're a wicked, ignorant bitch, or you're an adulterous woman, instead of sweet smell, she'll be stink. And there's a lot of sisters out here that's running around with a funky box. You know that's the truth. That is the truth. They don't want to. Some of these sisters, you can smell it through their damn pants. So Salakia. I mean, but this is, and the reason why is, it might be some hygiene, but really it's that attitude. So the Lord is going to make you smell how your insides really are. And I mean, that's what the general said the other day. You know what I mean? He's going to make you smell like how your insides really are, which is ugly, dirty, funky. You know what I'm saying? And instead of a girdle, a rent. So back in the day, women would walk around and they would have their stuff in order. They would put you hold all that, that loose, belly and all that stuff in with a girdle, right? But instead of that, a rent, meaning now you see sisters walking out in the general, but the other day, sisters walking out to the store with night clothes on, belly hanging over the top of the night clothes, shirt come down to about right here, you know what I mean? Just looking a mess, you know what I mean? No class, no, you know what I mean? And then it says, and instead of well set hair, bald, instead of that nice, well set, full, thick hair, sisters what? You got sisters, you know what I mean? The edges of their crown, you know what I'm saying, is balding, you know what I mean? Some sisters are just completely bald and they need weave, right? Alopecia, right? They need weave, you understand? So there you go. This is where the weave comes in, you know what I mean? And like I said, I know sisters firsthand that you can see in their head, you know what I mean, like their size, you know what I mean, like the crown is just like it's balding, you know what I mean? And then I can also look at them and tell that they have a funky attitude. They're rude to other people. They're rude to men. You know what I mean? They get mad when a man want to say something to them or want to approach them. They rude to other females. If they got a baby's father, they out to get him. You know what I mean? They want to talk bad about him for years and years and years, even though you ain't been with the man in over 40 years and you probably cheated on him. But I say all this to say that, you know what I mean, the Most High, you know what I mean, put this in the Bible for a reason. Okay, and this is talking to our sisters. This is talking to black women. So if you walking around here with a damn attitude all the time, you know what I mean, you got a stinky attitude, the Most High is going to make you smell like how your attitude is. You're going to be stinky, you know what I mean? And ain't nothing like, you know what I mean, running into a sister that got a funky box. I mean, that's just, Salakia, man. I don't even want to talk about that. But okay, so let's jump to the next. Let's go to the next scripture. All right, let me see. All right, let's go to Mark 10 and 12. Mark 10 and 12. At the water for you brothers and sisters that's tuning in, the water. And also I always want to, throw this out there that, of course, in the Ashley Becoming the Commanding General Yohana, we have these classes Monday through Friday. Here in Pittsburgh, we go on Thursdays from 5 p.m. to 6:30, about 6:30. But in the other states, we go from Monday to Friday, 7 to about 9 p.m. And then, of course, we got the Black Watch Commanding General Yohana Monday nights and the Sabbath service on Saturday. We have camp speakings here in Pittsburgh, too. We should get back up and running with that right after the Passover every other Friday from about 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. All right. So, get in, keep watching these classes. I was like, old fish water. Oh man, brother Brett said box smells like old fish tank water, right? Con. Oh man, don't even say nothing about that. That's a bad thing. But yeah, again, so we have these camp speakings every other Friday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And like I said, you keep watching the classes. Sign in. Become a trooper in the school if you're a brother. You know what I mean. Take your officer's test. Put your crown, your boots on. You know what I mean. Get into school, man. Get in this truth, man. We never know when Yahweh Shah is coming back, man. Let's get with it. You know what I mean. So let's go. Mark 10 and 12. And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery. All right. If a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery. So this is another thing, because a lot of women, once they hear that men can have multiple women, of course, a bitch in the world will say, well, if you can have more women, I can have other men. Or, why can't women have other men? I'll tell you why. Because in the Bible, it says that you can only have your husband and that's it. And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery. Now, okay, we didn't talk about adultery already, right? We know that adultery is a woman who has sex with another man while she has a man, or any other man other than her man. And for a man, it's if you have sex with a woman that has a man. So, but as a man, you can have as many women as you want. You just can't leave them. But a woman she's bound to that man and that man only. She cannot have. So the first man you have sex with, the first man you open your legs to, you open your box to, that is your husband. Okay. And of course, a lot of sisters in the world have committed adultery over and over again because they didn't know. But if you're watching this class and you paying attention to these scriptures, now you know. All right. And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committed adultery. Okay. So, and that's what Jada Pinkett did. I mean, she went and had sex with a young boy. You know what I mean? And I forgot to throw this out there. She's a goddamn child molester too. Nobody wants to talk about that. We get so hard and hardcore on you know what I mean, on the men when they do it, which is rightful because you should. But nobody wants to talk about these women who prey on these little kids too. You know what I mean? And again, because she's a woman. Oh, she's a woman. She's going through things. You know what I mean? She wants to be happy. You know what I mean? Let's worry about her happiness. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. We're always worried about a woman's happiness instead of setting them straight. Making them correct. All right. So again, if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committed adultery. So Jada Pinkett's an adulterous whore. That's what she is. And it's not talking about her. It's the truth. This is what's in the Bible. This is what's in the Bible. The Most High God says it. If you sleep with another man other than your husband, you're a whore. You know what I mean? And she does it for the world to see. Okay. So again, and to wrap that whole situation up with that, Chris Brown, Slocky, Chris Rock, you know what I mean? The brother is, I'm pretty sure he has a lot of things on his mind right now. And, it was a hurtful situation to see, man, especially to just see another black man attack another black man like that for the world to see. We took a blow, you know what I mean, as a people. I mean, of course, not in the ass should be carrying the commanding general honor, you know what I mean? We're a separate nation from anybody in the world. But this is a black man, you know what I mean? I know a lot of you felt the same. It was just a bad situation, man. And I think Will Smith was a coward, you know what I mean? Chris Rock, like I said, the only thing I can say to him is that he needs to get to this truth, you know what I mean? Your national carrying the commanding general honor. All right, so let me see. Let's pull it. Let's get something else here. All right. Let me see. Okay. All right, let's get some brotherhood. All right. It's a perfect topic to talk about because of course, that was a great example of what brotherhood is not like. All right. So let's get some brotherhood. Let's talk about that. All right. Okay. So first off, all right, let's get 1 John 4 and 20. Let's get 1 John 4 and 20. All right. All right. If a man say I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he have not seen? 4 and 21. And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also. Okay. This is heavy for our nation because brotherhood, loving the Lord thy God and then loving your brother is like the two laws that every other law hinges on. Okay. So if you ask, the common person, the average person, do they love God? Of course I love God. Who doesn't love God? I love God, right? But then if you ask them about that neighbor that lives right next door to them, or that brother or that sister lives right in the neighborhood, or that brother or sister that you work with, You're like, oh, I can't stand that nigga, man. I hate that nigga. You know what I mean? That nigga this, that nigga that nigga this. But I got bad news for you. You're a damn liar. You don't love God. You don't love the Most High God, Yahweh, because you don't love your brother. You know what I mean? This is the same person who grows up in the same conditions you do. He grows up in poverty, um, you know, uh, gunshots in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? All the same experiences, drugs. You know what I mean? Drug addicted parents, alcoholic parents alcoholics. This is the same brother that goes to the same thing as you went through. And you see this brother every day. I mean, you'd have had conversations with him. You know his family. He knows your family. But you hate this brother. You can't forgive this brother for nothing that he does to you. You want to cut him off. You know what I mean? This, and that. And then you expect the Most High God, Yahweh, to show you mercy when you commit sins. Okay, so you sold drugs. We sold drugs. You know what I mean? We smoked weed. We hated before we done foul things to other brothers and sisters. And then what do? God, forgive me. God, please forgive me for that, right? And it's okay for you to ask for forgiveness, for mercy, because the Most High God is a merciful God, and he will grant you mercy if he chooses to. But the thing is, we won't do the same thing for that brother or that sister, when they make a trespass against us. I'll read that again. 1 John 4:20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he's a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen? And this commandment have we from him, from God, that he who loveth God love his brother also. And this is, like I said, this is one of the major components to why we are, in the situations we're in right now. Because if we love our brother, we won't be committing trespasses against our brother. We won't be committing any sins against each other. So we will flourish as a nation. You won't have sex with that brother's woman. We won't be committing adultery against, against the Lord by having sex with that brother's, woman. You know what I mean? We won't sell drugs to that brother. We won't, we won't do any of these type of things. You know what I mean? So that will put us in a better situation that because first of all, again, like I said, all we have is each other. We don't have the help of the other nations. I mean, you can see that. I mean, we've been here for over 400 years and we haven't had any help, from anyone. You know what I mean? And so the worst thing we can do is fight amongst each other. A house fighting, amongst us, our house fighting amongst our house. That's the worst thing you could do, because now you have the heathens against you and you have your own against you. And that's why we stay in the situations, the predicaments that we're in. He brings the person towards you, but direct it towards heathen nations again. Brother said, it's hard to love your brother when he brings aggression towards you, but won't direct it towards heathen nations again. Well, Salakia, this is what I'll say to that. Now, it's not really hard. It's not hard. I understand what you're saying when he say he brings aggression towards you, but won't direct it towards the heathen nation. Now, understand this, because I know you're wise enough to know this, because you made this statement. You have to look at don't look at the surface of it as your brother. Look at what's behind that. That comes from being taught by heathens. He's taking on the ways of the oppressor, the oppression that he's faced, the things that he's seen growing up. You've seen the same things. The only difference is you were strong enough and wise enough to notice it and change your ways. That brother is just weak. He's just not as strong as you. So you being the stronger brother, you got to be like, all right, let me get his brother this. Let me get his brother, or try to explain it to him. Even if you can't get it across to him, you can, you don't have to be the brother's, best friend and all of that, but you don't have to hate the brother either. You don't have to down talking about negative, do him in a negative way. Just be like, all right, I'm gonna watch out for that brother. He's not right. But it's still your brother. He's still your brother. So just think about it. So if the Most High was to cast you off like that, oh, brother Brett, he smoked weed, I'm done with him. You know what I mean? Just think about that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be the same way with our brothers and our sisters. But you make a good point. That is a real good point. You know what I mean? It gets frustrating. That's just like when we're at camp, man. I mean, just think about it. When we're at camp, our own people, our brothers and sisters come up, throw things at us, call us names, and the main thing that they want to do is, they don't want us to hate the white man. You know what I mean? The white man always got to be, included somewhere. We have to put them in there somewhere, because that's what oppression has taught them. So you got to understand, there's layers and layers and layers that need to be peeled off to get to some people sometimes. So you being that brother that is wise enough to know what's really going on, you got to be that wise guy, that strong guy, and like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get this brother, right. I'm gonna forgive him. And then, you know what I mean? And then, Lord willing, what you being consistent and, doing what you do, maybe you'll be able to change that brother or make that brother wake up. But regardless, on your part, it looks good to the Most High, because now you're being a brother to somebody who's being rude to you. So the Most High looks at you like, you know what I mean? This brother's in a hard, difficult situation. Brothers is hating him. Brothers are saying this and that, but he stood his ground. He's righteous. He loves his people. You know what I'm saying? Even though all that. So think about it. This is the same thing. It's a good. I'm glad you brought this up, because I need that feedback from y'all. Think about what Christ went through, brother. Think about what he went through. I mean, he's out there teaching his brothers and his sisters to love each other. He's out there. He's a sacrifice for us. And what do they do? Crucify him. Crucify him. You know what I mean? That's what they say to Christ. You know what I'm saying? So think about it. Nobody had it harder than Christ. And I'm so glad you brought that up, because here's the next scripture. It goes right into what I want to say. All right. Hold on, Mr. Salakia. Let me see. Hold on, Salakia. Oh, hold on. I know where it's at. But yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. All right, so hold on. All right, right here. John 15 and 18. All right, John 15 and 18. Because what you just talked about, you know, like you said, it's hard to love your brother when he brings aggression towards you, but not directed towards heathen nations again. Then I brought up the situation about Christ, right? All right, here you go. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. This is Christ saying it, because I remember I was talking about, imagine what Christ had to go through, bro. Imagine what this is the greatest man who ever set feet on the ground in the world. And he was hated, bro. He was hated just like you, just like myself, just like other brothers and sisters. He was hated. I mean, they crucified him. And he's coming performing. Listen, bro, he's performing miracles, bro. He's performing miracles. He's doing things. He's giving power from the Most High God. He's doing things that we can't. We're not even doing. And they still hated him. You know what I'm saying? They still hated him. So that's right there. That tells you, you know what I mean, the life of a black man, you know, a Hispanic man, a First Nation man or woman. All right. John 15 and 18. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. Now, John 15 and 19. Here you go. Watch this. If ye were of the, this is a bit, because I say, and I know personally the type of hate that you get, bro. I not to make this single about you, but I know the type of hate you get because of the wisdom that you have and the type of brother you are. So listen to this. This is why it happens to you. John 15 and 19. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. See, being with the Most High God is going to get you hate, bro. And I know you might not be personally, some of you brothers might not be personally in the school, but you have that spirit that belongs in the ISUPK. That's why I urge to you brothers to get in this truth, man. Get in this truth, because this is for you. You are built for this. I know some of you personally, this is for you. And you will become a great man, a great sister if you get in this truth. I'm telling you. But it says, if ye were of the world would love his own. See, you're not of the world. You're not of the world. You're not of the world, bro. You're not of the world. So you trying to have conversation with them and get them to see your points, all like that. That's the same thing we do at camp, bro. That's what we do at camp. It's the same thing we do. We argue with them. We do. The only difference is we've been taught professionally, you know, by commanding General Yohana. We've been taught professionally. You know what I'm saying? We've been taught professionally, and we know how to do it a certain way, you know, as far as the scriptures. All you got to do is just get in here, you know, put your all black on, become a trooper, bro, and then go from there. Because I know a lot of you brothers, man, are strong, man, and you deserve to be in this truth. You know what I mean? If you were the world would love his own. But because you're not of the world, but I've chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hated you. That's why the world hates a lot of you brothers. You know what I'm saying? And I know two brothers personally in the chat that go through this, because you are not of the world. The Most High, Christ chose you out of this world, man. He wants you in this truth. He wants you in it, man. Get in this truth, man. I'm telling you. Did you coming at, like I said, I've been in truth for a short time. This is my second Passover coming up in 2 weeks, brother. You ain't never seen nothing like the Passover. I mean, think about the best party you ever seen has nothing compared to what you're going to see at the Passover. I mean, nothing compared to it. Nothing compared to it. The brotherhood, the sisterhood. I mean, no fakeness, nobody talking behind each other's back. No, everything is done. It has rules, guidelines, and everything is followed, you know, by the Bible. You know what I'm saying? It's like nothing you'll ever see, man. It's nothing you'll ever see. And you need to be in here. Y'all need to be in here, because this is the love that you're looking for. You're not going to get it in the world, bro. You're not going to get it in the world. I came out of the world. I know what it's like. A lot of us are from the same neighborhood, went to the same schools. I know what you're going through, bro. Trust me. You know what I mean? What you're looking for is in the ISUPK and the commanding General Yohana. I'm saying, I'm not saying any of you guys are afraid of anything, but just don't even think about it, man. Just come into it, man. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I promise you, you will not regret it. I promise you, you won't. I'll read this one more time. John 15 and 18. If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. If you were like goddamn Will Smith, or you know, I mean, one of these niggas out here, one of these celebrities that don't give a damn about God's law, statutes, and commands. You want to smoke as much weed as you want, fuck as much whores as you want, Salakia. The world will love you. The world loves people. Why do you think they? Why in our own neighborhoods, amongst our own people, we glorify criminals? I mean, come on, man. You know how many people glorify people like Alpo, and you know what I mean, like you know, all these criminals that do nothing to our society, but you know, help destroy their own people. We love people like that. Well, people in the world love people like that. But because you're not that brother, because you're that brother who's like, nah, this is wrong. We need to be like this. Sis, you wrong on that. You know what I mean? They hate you. And this is what, and believe it or not, you know, I love it. I love the fact that when I'm at camp and they're coming out there, you know, who are you to tell people, you know what I mean? You ain't know, you know, they say all these type of things. Listen, I love it. I love being in the fire. I love it. I've always been the type of brother that, you know, no, I'm going to tell you what's right and wrong. I don't care if you want to hear it or not. I'm going to tell you. Now, of course, when you're in the truth, you have to be keeping the laws too. You have to keep the laws, you know what I'm saying? So, but if you're keeping the laws, then you have every right to, hey, listen here, brother, you're wrong on that. Leviticus 11 chapter says you can't eat pork. You understand that? You know what I'm saying? It says, you know, Amos 5:21, the Most High God despises your holidays, your feast days. We can't be celebrating no birthdays, no Christmas, no Thanksgiving, none of that. You understand that? That's in the Bible. And actually, that is your job to do that. You have to do that. You can't have that knowledge of the Most High God and keep it to yourself and not tell your brothers and sisters. That wouldn't be brotherhood. That's not brotherhood. You understand? How is that brotherhood if you have the knowledge to help your brothers and sisters, but you don't tell them? I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're definitely doing the Most High a disservice, and he's going to deal with you. That's why the story about, you know, Jonah, that's what that was. Jonah was running from doing the Most High God's, you know, law statutes, doing what the Most High God told him to do. And then he made it so that he was put back in that land, you know what I mean, to give Israel that message. So if the Most High God chooses you out of this world, guess what, brother? This is your job. This is going to be your job, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? So that's enough on that. But that was a good question you said, brother. I appreciate that question. And any if you got anything else in it, Shalaki, if you got anything else in there, man, you know, bring it out. You know what I mean? I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. And if I don't, I will be able to get the answer for you for a minute above me. I have no problem with, you know, answering questions or trying to get, you know, any brother or sister any help. All right. Okay. So let's go. All right. Let's go to Luke 6:31. We're not going to be, we're going to be a little bit more longer than we're going to get up out of here, but Luke 6:31. As ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. Very plain, very blunt, very plain, very practical. All right. Luke 6:31. As ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. And this is perfect for that Will Smith and Chris Rock thing. Do you really think Will Smith wants a nigga to walk up on stage while he's getting while he's in front of the whole world and soccer punch him or smack him in front of the world? You know damn well Will Smith don't want that to happen. So why would he do that to his brother Chris Rock? You understand that? That's because he does not have brotherhood. He hates his own people and he's in love with a whore. That's why he did it. Okay? So take this as a lesson. Don't be in love with any whores. You know what I mean? And you want to keep these law, statutes, and commands. Luke 6:31. As ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. It's simple. It's simple. When you come across your brother or your sister, don't do anything to them that you don't want done to you. Don't sell their children any drugs. Don't sell them any drugs because you don't want that done to you. You know what I mean? You're not going to rape or molest anybody, you know what I mean? Because you wouldn't want that done to you. Okay? It's very simple. It's very simple. All right, let's get a few more. All right. Okay. All right, here we go. This is a great one for that. Not to keep touching on as well, but these are just great scriptures for that situation. Matthew 18:15. All right. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. So how do we use that in this situation? What Will Smith should have did was, when it was all said and done, he should have went behind the curtain, pulled Chris Rock to the side and said, hey, listen, brother, I know you got a job to do, and I know you're a funny guy and this and that, but, you know, you offended me and my family, man. You know what I mean? If he felt offended, he should have said, you offended me, and I think you disrespected my wife. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure Chris Rock would have said, you know what, man, if you feel that way, or, you know, I'm sorry, I apologize, brother, I will never do it again. This is why this Bible is so heavy, man, because this Bible has every situation possible in it, and it teaches you how to deal with your own people. It teaches you brotherhood. Everything about it is brotherhood and sisterhood. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone, not with a big crowd. Don't punch him in his face or smack him in the face when a million people's watching. Don't say, you know what I mean, scream at him, you know what I mean, and cussing, so everybody can hear it. If thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. So, and this is a big thing for us too, in wherever you're at. You have an issue with your brother or your sister, go to that brother. Don't let ears carry things back and it travels, you know what I mean? Then it gets back and it gets misconstrued, and you know what I mean, and something is said that you really didn't say, and then now you got a war with this person. Yeah, right. Con, great point. Big Man said he probably would have apologized on stage because he doesn't seem hateful. And you're right. Come on, man. We've been watching Chris Rock for so long. I don't know. I mean, there's anybody who doesn't know how Chris Rock is, right? You know what I mean? As far as a comedian, if he would have really said, you really, you know what I mean, you bother me by that, brother, Chris Rock would have apologized. He definitely would apologize. He would have seen that he was serious. He would apologize. Chris Rock ain't that type of guy. You know what I'm saying? And I brought this out earlier, man. I don't know if you was listening, but there's a picture of Chris Rock online, man. He just looks defeated, bro. He got his walk with his head down. He just look. It made me feel real bad for the brother, man. Like it really did. Like, you know what I mean? This is a bad situation. But you're right. He probably would have apologized on stage because he doesn't seem hateful. And he doesn't seem hateful. And the generals brought this out the other day. There's a video of Chris Rock floating around about, he's talking about when he was younger and how he was in school, how he used to get abused then, and they would do things to him and all like that. And I'm pretty sure this incident brought all those memories back. You know what I mean? So he's probably going through that over and over again as a grown ass 50-something-year-old man, 57-year-old man. He's going through that. So that's just a bad situation. So this is what Will Smith did to that brother. And it's the last thing you want to do to another brother if you are a brother, man. We got to learn to love each other, man. Like, you got to learn to forgive each other and put our nation first. We have to put each other first. Salakia, I know that each and every one of us wants to rule. We don't want to stay in these conditions that we're in. But how the hell are we going to rule if we can't, forgive and have mercy on each other? How are we going to rule? How are we going to rule? We getting ready to take over the kingdom, and brothers is arguing about stupid shit like, stuff like that. Like, I mean, come on, man. We got to get ready to rule. We got to get ready to rule. You know what I mean? That's what I want to rule. I don't want to have anybody above me, especially no damn Edomite or no Moabite or no Ammonite. I don't want to have nobody above me, no Arab, nobody. You understand that? I want to rule. I want to be the person that, you know what I mean? Oh, you was a minute late today. I'm going to have to let you go today. Yeah, I'm going to have to let you go. You know what I mean? I know you got a family on that, but I don't care. You know what I mean? This is what they do to us. This is what they do to us. So, it might sound like something, something strange to you, but I want to rule. You know what I mean? I want to rule. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm going to give that black man a job over you, oppressor. Yes, I am going to do that because you do the same thing to us. You know what I mean? Just think about all the things they've done to us. Okay, so if you want to rule, if you want things to go right for you as a people, you can't work. You can't be counting on these oppressors to change laws and put them in your favor. That's never going to happen. The only answer is to keep God's laws, and you know what I mean. Then we will be put in rulership. We have to rule, but you're not getting that if you're disobeying God. If you're not getting that, if you're not being a brother to your brother or being a sister to your sister, you're not getting that. And again, I can't stress it. Oh yeah, right. Howard Stern video, right? And I can't stress enough, like I said, that get in this ashibike, get in this truth, man. This is where it's at. If you're forget about the fake Israelite groups, Christian church definitely ain't doing you nothing. They've been closed down since the pandemic, and you know what I mean. They were collecting tithes though, but they weren't open. You know what I'm saying? The Muslim mosques, forget about that. You don't want to be worshiping a rock or a religion that's, you know what I mean, from a man who self-proclaimed himself a prophet and all this and that. This is the only truth. You know what I mean? We are the real, you know what I mean, Israelites, the real Jews that the Bible speaks about. We are a nation, and we need to look out for our own. Okay. So again, being a brother, you learn that by looking at these classes, getting familiar with these scriptures, you know what I mean, forgiving your brother and your sister, you know what I mean? And like I said, it's not easy, like the brother brought out, it's not easy because, brothers will, be disobedient, they'll come at you. But you got to understand, you got to be ready for that. Especially if you take on this job, you got to be ready to understand that they're going to come at you like that. They're going to be like, you got to think about it. They have demons on them. They got demons on them. So when you're out there speaking and bringing out their demons, pointing out their demons, the demon is like, the demon comes out of them and attacks because they know that you recognize who they are. So it's not really that brother or sister. That's the demon on them. You know what I mean? It's like, that demon's like, oh, hell no. Like, you know what I mean? This guy's a prophet, and he recognizes me. He knows what I'm doing to this brother or this sister. So you got to understand that, man. We got to be stronger and understand, you know what I mean? And it wasn't until So like I said, the men above me, Captain Ahmad and you know, Officer Yedaya and Officer Marah and all the other officers has been up here. I didn't really understand what brotherhood was until I started seeing these brothers. Like, I'm talking about, I'm talking about real brotherhood. I mean, I know, you know what I mean? I've been friendly to people, you know, all my life, but I've seen real brotherhood through these brothers, man. Like, I mean, they come up here and I just watch them and I try to watch them do mimic everything they do. And you know what I mean? Because first of all, if you knew me in the world, I was definitely not the type of person who was a follower. I don't do what anybody, I do what I want to do. But this is the only thing that I have ever been a part of that I don't mind being a follower of. I will look at the men above me and I will do what they tell me to do. I'll take orders or whatever. I have no problem doing it because I know that they serve the Most High God. You know what I mean? And I watch these brothers, man. I watch them show love to other brothers and sisters, and I've never seen anything like it. And I know that this is the truth. So if you're thinking about coming in this truth, man, this is it. This is what you've been looking for. You're not going to find it in the world. You're not going to find it in any religion, no other book. This is where it's at. And I actually became the commanding general. All right. So with that, I'm gonna wrap up the class. And again, the water to all you brothers and sisters that are tuned in. And again, we have these classes Monday through Friday. Here in Pittsburgh, we got every Thursday, 5 to 6:30. The camp speakers again from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. All right, and we have the Passover come up April 15th. If you can get out to see that, man, it's in Florida. Oh man, I've never been to Florida, so I can't wait to go there. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to go to Florida. Can't wait to see brothers and sisters at the Passover. All right, so with that, I'm gonna say shalom.